Choip, choip, choip. Choip, choip, choip.
Why is pool cue chalk a slippery bomb in this game? Welcome to some kid's house, presumably. And these 4 wooden old-school dolls are locked in arena bomb combat. Samescreen multiplayer only. No online, except for remote play together. Steam input works as well. No single player either, or at the very least no single player campaign. You can play against bots if you want to. It's just fun, compact arenas, and cute tree byproducts trying to ring each other out by throwing a plethora of explosives, hoping your timing was right so it lands somewhere to blow up and fling someone towards your victory, while simultaneously ruining the Mahjong pairs game someone set up. You're really going to have to clean up later. You just dive and throw, sometimes hide, and hunker down. Maybe do the woodworm. It's absolute punishment. And each time someone gets hit, the blasting power of bombs against them seems to increase, eventually giving you the power to make Team Rocket blast off again. It's kind of like a simplified version of Smash Bros system. Instead of a percentage, you get like 3 different pictures at different intensities. Plus there are environmental and physics concerns to contend with. It's so satisfying to see all that wood fly. I don't think they're supposed to be playing on top of the cake. And there's a revenge mechanic. Once you die, you come back as a colored bomb. That can roll about, but usually you're not gonna be this successful. Other than that, it doesn't really have much to it, in pure gameplay terms, although I love it. Small, compact, lovely. Chaos in tiny arenas. That's over quite quickly. You unlock different bombs as you play, as well as a Q-tip sword. They're really buckle-proof. And you also unlock skins for the head and body. At first they seem to follow the builder-baker route, but alas, no candlestick maker. Thereafter it goes further afield and can be amusing at times. Wooden saying. These things are what you mostly unlock, but you can also unlock different locations to brawl it out. And lastly, modifiers like big heads, full blasting power, and the Wormsian low gravity. I'd argue great building blocks for a party game. It's mild punishment? I played a little with a friend, and mostly grinded single player until everything was seemingly unlocked, rather unceremoniously. Each match unlocks something until done. Endorphins and rewards, but it was mostly a grind, because the most exciting thing to unlock is the arenas, and there are fewer than them than the skins, etc. And playing until everything was unlocked only took 2 hours. Visually it kind of looks good, almost cel-shaded without textures. Perhaps polygonal is more accurate. It's just usually it's so smooth you don't realize it, with some mildly grating color combos on occasion, like dark pink and dark green together, light brown wood and dark teal. The friend I played with made the observation that it probably would have been better if we could have played on the backgrounds as well, even if perhaps that would have been an unplayably big arena. Although more arenas would have been welcome. A treacherous windowsill, dunes formed by the blanket on someone's bed, a toilet seat rumble. All relevant Toy Soldier Battlefield suggestions. Would have fit and made some of the starter maps feel a bit less workaday, more exciting once the average is taken. But still it does look nice. Adorable actually, just look at them blockily tilt forward. Musically it is good if there aren't that many tracks. They're industrious tunes. Triumphant, but adapted for the Playroom. Just listen to the delightful triangle. The game is cheap on Steam, 79 Rand full price, 15 Rand 80 on sale. So even if you take that full 2 hours for unlocking everything, that's 7 Rand 90 per hour of gameplay, which is bad. So it is rather a decadent suggestion, arguably like a great deal of same-screen multiplayer games. But as said, I really like it. The cuteness, the diving, getting shot out of the ring, seeing all that wood scatter, and it's rather unknown if the hipstery element will help. At least it doesn't have that big a download size, as it only takes up 329.12 megabytes on the hard drive. I did test it on the Warhorse. Unfortunately, it was surprisingly laggy for something that's supposed to be quick fun. But here are the system requirements, and I did test it again in, changed the resolution to 800 by 600, changed the settings to low, and that made the game quite playable. The visuals did become grainy, but not that grainy, and now there was only the odd frame rate drop instead of lag, I believe. But as said, you're the specs, you make the call. And stereotypically, it's mostly kid-friendly. I mean, it's so cute, there's no blood, no one says anything. But even in these circumstances, something problematic did arise. One of the head skins you can unlock is a sombrero. And sure, if it just stayed there, I'd argue that maybe you could just leave it alone. But they named the skin Relaxed, and when you unlock it, they use the word siesta. So that's in here, be aware. And as said, this game is Samescreen versus. That's arguably all it is. Only local or remote play together, and Steam input works as well. It seems to be controller flexible without it, and arguably, it has split pad play too. It is an option that you can turn on for a mouse-only player to join, where they turn with the mouse while their figurine automatically walks forward constantly. The game looks cute, pretty good, Toyroom visuals. If the arenas are kind of small, some people like the compact thing, I do too, and if they can be rather unexciting compared to the rest of the room sometimes. Who needs to fight on a shelf, high in the air, with a window view, surrounded by knickknacks and books? We'll just fight on a bunch of cardboard boxes that have perfectly maintained their shape and are the same size, just a different shade. Plus, some of those color combos can be a bit grating. The music is good, with playful chiming and triumphant horns. Cute and industrious music if there aren't that many tracks. The sound design's good too. Booms and the clicking of wood, I believe. It is quick, fun, physics-based combat. Dive and fling those bombs. See how they travel. It's quite chaotic at times. Hard to see who you are. But hey, how many games give you the opportunity to be buried alive by blocks? And there's a lot of stuff to unlock, with you unlocking something after every match, until they run out. That gives endorphins. If it can be a bit aggravating, that the arenas or the best unlocks give you so much more excitement, was really the reason I hanged in there so long in single player. Yet we're so seldom what you get. But in all fairness, the arenas are probably the hardest part to make. On the maybe side, simple multiplayer fun is the only point of this game, with the unlocks being the only distraction. It has no story or single player campaign. You can play with bots though. And on the con side, and I know I'm harping on about this, but maybe the map design could have included the other parts of the room for more variety. As said, the game could have really done with a few more arenas. I believe I mentioned a few that could work, still fit in. I mean, sure, the toilet level would mean usually the bombs would just fly past the enemy into the water, but hey, just widen that rim. Come on, play it. It may be a bit decadent, but because of the good audio design, one level can make you feel like popcorn in a skillet. Who doesn't want that? Don't get me wrong, these are impressive craters, worthy of any mole. Once again, pleasantly Wormsian. But this game is called Nova Nukers. Nukes in the name. Everything happening here, sure it's pretty, chaotic, but it's kind of contained. Where are all the mushroom clouds and fire? Okay, now we're getting there. Once again, no story, intended for multiplayer. Except this time it does have online multiplayer capability, which because of its low level of popularity, I don't think is very active. It is a tiny piece of fun, a split screen capability, with remote play together, and Steam input does work. It has 6 game modes to play, capturing the others, capturing the flag, and capturing coins. Each one with an accompanying mode that's modified. You run around a seemingly spherical wrapping planet, which is incredibly pleasant, even if technically it may be an illusion. I saw an interview with a dev once. Apparently round planets is a hard nut to crack, which, if you look incredibly carefully and choose to be generous, is almost a pun. And you jump, double jump, dash, use power-ups and weapons, including what seems to be military-grade Lucasade, or maybe use an explosive homing chicken. And most notably, you fling bombs to ultimately defeat the enemy and keep the theming of this episode intact. Unlike everything else, the Earth gets carved away in a pleasant manner. And in some modes, there's a revenge mechanic when you've been taken out, that allows you to orbitally bombard your opponent and either hit them or expose the lava, acid, or pink lemonade, etc., which will damage you in a way reminiscent of the Crash Bandicoot lava butt burn animation. Once again, the game is quite grindy. If you play it alone like me, to once again try and unlock most of the unlockables, you may notice that it takes a similar amount of time as it did with BOMBFEST. For me, it took 2 hours once again, but it wasn't as fun because unlocks weren't as freely given, and these space bodysuits for your space cows, etc., and the unlockable new planets somehow weren't as sumptuous. Not as exciting. Very dry. After the fair amount of games required to unlock them. And it doesn't feel as Mario Kart as it should either. But in short bursts, it's fun, simple, kind of one track, at least in feel. Completely defeating an opponent in the brawl modes requires stunning them and then ghost busting them, which leaves you vulnerable. Takes time and detracts from the fast pace. Well, I played little enough that now I realize you can make the capture time shorter to speed things up. And it can be fun jumping on what's left of the planets, trying to avoid the myriad of dangerous fluids, and once again put on low gravity for greater air and a greater sense of freedom, which can add a bit more fun. And if you opt to play alone, the insane difficulty AI can offer you a challenge. Although Planet Dolcanetta's Candy River is quite the killer, they struggle to not kill themselves in it, but if you play on a planet with smaller or no water hazards, they'll be in top form again. The different characters even have different strengths, but I've only just realized this reading the loading screens again. Maybe I saw that originally as well, but that may be a bad sign, because either the effect is so subtle that I didn't register it, or the on-screen chaos led to me not noticing it. And the planets themselves are lovely and colorful. To accompany the lovely, small, wrapping nature, it may have been the main reason I bought this game. That's how impressive it is. Well, that and split-screen multiplayer, and the music is pleasant enough. Sci-Fi Gladiator music. Sometimes also reminding me of Crash Bandicoot. Very energetic. Also kind of playful, but not Toyroom playful. No hard feelings competition. Plus cool sound cues, chingy noises for coins, etc. Almost a cacophony of auditory stimulation. It's very cheap on Steam. 89 Rand full price, 8 Rand 90 on sale. That's 4 Rand 45 per hour of gameplay, which is okay. It's better than our previous game, if you play it until most unlocks are unlocked. And it doesn't have the biggest download size, as it takes up 1.32 gigabytes on the hard drive. Not the worst download and not the best. And it doesn't really work on the Warhorse, it's very laggy, even as it seemingly automatically set it to its lowest resolution during the test. Not really playable in this state. Maybe young me would have put up with it, but it's quite a bad lag. So here are the system requirements. You will require something more powerful than the Warhorse to play it. Stereotypically though, it's kid friendly. I can't remember anything objectionable in it. Plus all the cute animals. And of course, Samescreen multiplayer. It's most of what it is. Steam input and remote play together works as well. This game has very nice, colorful, cartoony graphics with impressive compact wrapping planets, brilliant destructible terrain, and cute animal characters. Cute, but what is this? Pretty good Crash Bandicoot music, as well as music that says, let's compete in space. Up-tempo, high energy. Simple fun, kind of fast and mobile gameplay. If the method of subduing someone is a tad slow and frustrating, but as said, you can make that faster, but you'll still be vulnerable to the other opponents while capturing your prey, and they can stun you from behind, and dispatch you quite quickly. Even quicker now that you've made the capturing faster. Maybe that's why on brawl matches you get points for captures, lose points when you get captured, and get nothing for pure survival. You coward. Love puns today. But the coin collection mode is much easier because you kind of just jump around more, sort of 3D platforming and shooting your opponents, etc. Much easier to not become a sitting duck. Plus the revenge mechanic is cool. On the maybe side, no story and no single player campaign. But insane difficulty AI can give you quite a challenge when they're not throwing themselves into the drink, that is. And on the con side, it's even more of a slog to unlock most of this stuff on your own. The unlocks weren't doled out as regularly and weren't as tasty. I mean, it took like 6 matches to unlock each planet. And once again, while they perhaps weren't as exciting as BOMBFEST's arenas, the planets probably were the most exciting unlock in the game. I unlocked all of them, as well as most of the items, but I had quite a ways to go in the skins. Maybe if the skins were easier to get, decreasing the amount of times where you'd play a match and not get anything, the blow would have been softened a bit. It's pretty much just gameplay. Gameplay that probably needs more distraction if you're going going to play on your own. As said, the online portion is probably not that active, but hey, I didn't test it. Come on, play it. Be a powerful space scout with much fewer of the expected threats, although you may still be at the mercy of your primary predator, tornadoes. Meow.
Choip, choip, choip. Choip, choip, choip.